For the Democrats, this has become a virtue signal. For the Democrats, they wear a Ukrainian flag. Zelenskyy has become, I think People magazine is going to name him the sexiest man alive. They're in love with him. And it's become a way, a Ukrainian flag has become like a COVID mask. It's a sign to show your virtue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we're accepting your metaphor, Ted Cruz, then wouldn't knee-jerk opposition to those things be similar too? Like refusing to do literally anything to protect yourself or your loved ones from a disease just to stick it to the libs, turning against support for Ukraine just because you don't like that many Dems support it. Also, needlessly self-destructive. By the way, I know that everybody loves to throw around the term virtue signal or whatever, and I'm not saying that it can't in some case potentially have meaning. If somebody is doing something purely symbolically that maybe doesn't represent what they really believe and isn't actually doing anything to help out anyone, then sure, label it a virtue signal. But if they're doing something that helps people, that stops injustice and evil and mass crimes, and is consistent with prior promises we've made to our allies, it's not virtue signaling, it's just virtue at that point. And I'm not saying you can't disagree about different aspects of our policy when it comes to Ukraine. We're gonna engage in that potentially in just a little bit. But this knee-jerk need to effectively, let's just call it what it is, vice signal. There's this thing that everyone agrees is good, but I don't like the people who are doing it, so I'm gonna do the opposite just to prove how edgy I am. How is that in any way better, Ted Cruz? Sabrina, what do you think?
Ted Cruz anti-war? What? That's based as hell. Okay, Ted Cruz. But you're right. It's so opposite of what you would expect from Ted Cruz, considering, he is quite conservative and he loves our military like very, very much. You would think that he would be happy that we're essentially having a proxy war and we don't have to spend American lives. Like, isn't that the kind of stuff that Republicans kind of like? So yeah, kind of silly take from him, but hey, if he's anti-war, I'll take it.
Ted Cruz wrote a book. Sorry, Ted Cruz is releasing a book. It's called, and I believe that this is true, Unwoke: How to Defeat Cultural Marxism in America. Big announcement, yes. It's called Unwoke. We have words to get across that meaning. I think I know why you don't want to use them. Unwoke.
Because the Sandman is coming. Little white Republicans, please go to sleep and give him cash. Unregulate big business, lose all of your worker protections. Please just go back to sleep and give Ted Cruz the keys.
It sucks to be unwoke. I don't want to be unwoke. I don't want to miss a thing. I know it's ridiculous. You know what's more ridiculous than the title Unwoke? The promotional blurb for it says this. It will provide, quote, a long overdue argument against the woke takeover of education, big business, the media, and Hollywood. A long overdue argument. There have been more books written about that than vampires banging over the past couple of decades. I don't think it's that overdue, buddy. I think pretty much every right winger has written that exact same book. He could have just taken one of Charlie Kirk's books, put a different dust cover on it, and nobody would know because nobody's gonna read it. Anyway, what do you think?
He's so sad. He is so sad. The guy these days has been talking about Gavin Newsom going to Mexico during the snowstorms in a way that is like, well, it's almost as though he's calling attention to the fact that he left Texas when people were dying, but he doesn't even acknowledge the irony that he himself is calling attention to his own misdeeds. He just sucks. The whole thing. The right wing is at the same time an attempt to distract its voters into thinking that they give a crap about you. No, the right wing does not give a crap about it. It's also a media play so that Ted Cruz can enrich himself, but also further delude his followers into thinking that he cares about them at all.
Yeah, it's so lazy. It's that
Unwoke.
book is the book version of his beard. It's like, come on, you're not even trying, man. And it's a terrible look